the mayor got a call from two organizations actually, Trees for Houston, Trees for Texas, and the San Antonio Botanical Gardens, wanted to help us replenish our trees. So we said yes. So the mayor reached out to me because he was very busy, and he said, would you meet with him? So we had a meeting. The two Carrolls, Stan, and I'm sorry, Don, we got together because they were planning something else on their own in Hunt, just about the same idea. But we said, we should come together. You know the song, come together. Anyway, so we did. We came together. We met with the Trees for Houston and the Trees for Texas this week, Monday. Walked 3.5 hours worth of Louise Park. Through that, through input from Jay and other people, we were able to come up with an educated guess on where these trees should go, where seeds should go, because the Botanical Gardens is looking to come cultivate seeds from existing bald cypress here, so that it's most likely to adapt since it's already here. Take them back to San Antonio, cultivate them, log them in, and clean them and bring them back for planting. So we're talking 100 seeds for 30 possible good trees. That's the outcome usually, the percentage. But anyway, so it's an endeavor because we can't just sit and wait for the new sprouts to come. We want to give this town a boost of new trees. So I'm just really the facilitator. I have a lot of expertise that are helping put this all together with maps and trees and things. So if you have any questions, feel free to give me a call in the city. Thank you.
Is there anybody else? Okay.
Yeah, I'll speak. My name's Carolyn Swayze White. My dad was born in Center Point. I was born in Kerrville. Second baby in Peterson Hospital at the old location. My brother is an arborist in Houston, retired, has connections with Trees for Houston, was served on their board for over 20 years. It's a nonprofit. So the trees they bring into Louise Park or anywhere in Kerr County are free. The ones they plant, they will maintain for 2 years. So it's kind of a win-win situation, we feel like. But anyway, we hope you will
the information. Yes.
Yeah.
When is this going to happen?
They will start planting when it cools down.
December, January.
If ever. November, December, January.
By free, do you mean the government pays for that?
It's a nonprofit.
A nonprofit?
They've raised
They
funds.
have
Okay.
donors.
They have a nonprofit and they sponsor.
Yeah.
Okay.
They raise their own funds.
Raise their own funds.
Yeah. In February-ish, they will have planted 1 million trees, mainly in the Houston area, but for the last 10 years, they've been reaching out to places that have some kind of disaster throughout Texas. And so
we fit the bill.
we felt like this was a disaster worthy of consideration.
They will help with watering and maintenance of these trees because they know even our local nurseries couldn't, so they will be looking around Texas for these replacement trees because our nurseries won't be able to accommodate the need for as many. But they're going to try to keep it as close to the genetic type of tree that we had that we get. And I was telling Michael Hornis that they will even front the bill for a portable water tank. If wherever we have to plant them, store them, whatever, doesn't have ready water, that they will have water, and they will pay for that.
And that's the 2 years?
That's the 2 years that I know of, and I don't know beyond. I mean...
Is that the most critical, like, time? It would be the first 2 years?
Yes.
Yes.
Then it's pretty established
They
after
would
that?
prefer 3 years,
Okay.
but
Yeah.
they just can't
Yeah.
commit to funding for 3
Oh, for
years.
sure, yeah.
So.
I think we'll be looking for volunteers. We've talked about volunteers
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
to help
Right.
with the water.
Is this available for Kerr County as well as the
Yes.
city?
We're starting with this, it's just our starting place.
And they are also working with Camp Mystic for sure, and possibly 2 or 3 other camps that they're committing to. But that's outside of Louise Park project. So.
And Hunt.
Yeah, and some things and hopefully Center Point. So if you have requests, the more requests we get in, the more grant writing the director can do. And no promises that it'll get funded this year, but
Where do you want requests sent to?
I've actually got a direct line into Barry Ward, he's the executive director of Trees for Houston, which is also Trees for Texas, so.
Got it. Perfect.
let's see.
So just, is this the, so Kerr together in the Kerrville, the River Working Group, are you, this is a
You
little,
can say we're a subcommittee of that.
Yeah.
Because we're going to those meetings as well. We're trying to make sure we're not duplicating
I
efforts.
know, because,
anyway.
yeah.
And I don't think we are.
No.
We caught this in time where we all kind of realized we're talking over here, you're talking over there.
Right.
It came together.
Right.
So, right, remember that phone call I made?
Yeah.
Hey, I think they're already talking about this.
So the Kerr together created all these working groups. I don't know if you guys are aware or whatever, and so they reached out to different people in the community, and there's housing, there's economic development, there is tourism, there is, and the river and, you know, riparian repair. There's like 15 of them, I think,
That's
underneath
close, yeah.
Kerr, and so then they appointed kind of chairs of these, they're called working groups, so they don't fall under the Open Meetings Act and all this other stuff, it's not official and anybody can go. So I've been going to the River Working Group meetings, and so they have, all these conversations are happening. I've talked to Jay about a couple different things, the idea of, Louise Hayes Park, it would be great, I think, a public space to show what you can do in terms of, a full-on riparian repair with all natives, because not only did the natives get wiped away, but so did the invasives. And so to be able to repair the riverbank, and Chris Deisel, I think that's his last name, over at Schreiner, who's a biology professor, he's all over this kind of stuff because they take samples and blah, blah, blah. So it's all kind of, and if you're interested in it, the working group, I mean, anyone can.
I think there's a next meeting for UGRA for that is.
It's October 24th at 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
At
Right.
UGRA.
And all the meetings are at UGR. So you can reach out to Tara
Bushnell.
Bushnell, right? And, she can get you on the list if you want to go. There's Google Docs, spreadsheets for each one of the working groups, so you can kind of keep up with what's happening, and people are releasing minutes and discussions and things like that, so.
And here's a map, there's been several, but Jay did a great job of, and just an idea, since we walked it, I actually cheated a little bit, I didn't walk it as much as they did, but it was really hot. But, so he pointed out places to avoid, places to plant, and it's a work in progress, this is probably not the final draft even, but it's a place to start, and he's already given some input back to the map creator about it, so we're trying to be thoughtful about it. And it's, somewhat easy to do because you now know what happened where. It's not a guess as to, will it happen here, this is what happened here, so
Right.
you have that to use as your tool.
There was also discussion at this river meeting, the deer population and axis deer that are actually invasive. And there was somebody presenting at the river working group about trying to move those away and having a better chance of your plants actually surviving without deer. And so I don't know where, kind of where all that is going. You can't really do much with whitetail, but I guess axis.
Not quite there.
Actually, there's strategies that Parks and Wildlife has for
Right.
deer removal, but the city has to ask for them.
Right.
So that would mean that the population of Kerrville would have to be prepared for the idea of
Right.
losing some deer.
Right.
I'm sure that'll go into the comprehensive plan as we move forward.
Right.
Mhm.
So anyway, but there's, Texas Parks and Wildlife is at that table for the river working group. I mean, everybody's I mean, everything's on the table, really, as it should be, kind of, so, anyway. Okay, any other citizen comments?
One last comment. I wanted to thank Councilwoman Siegelman and y'all for listening today. And a bit of color is always needed. When Louise Hayes Park was created mostly in a day, my father, who was not allergic to poison ivy, that was his job. He got to pull the poison ivy that day. And so I feel very honored to follow and help restore Louise Hayes
I'm
Park.
very appreciative. You know who has the genes to pull out the
I
poison?
know. Get the name.
Have you been tested yet?
I'm good.
Anyway, okay, is there any other citizen comments, anybody else? Okay, approval of the minutes, we have two different approvals. We had the regular April 8th meeting, hopefully everybody had a chance to go through them, April 8th, so I will take a motion to approve the minutes. Anybody want to make a motion?
I'll make a
Okay,
motion
there
to
you go.
approve the minutes.
All right, any discussion?
That's fine.
And can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
You can be.
Any opposed? Okay. And then we have the special meeting that we held on June 12th. Can I get a motion to approve those minutes?
I move.
Okay, any discussion? Can I get a second?
Second.
There you go. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Great, okay, minutes passed. So, information and discussion. So July 4th flood update from the staff.
All right. So did everybody get a chance to look over the memo? I tried to keep the memo brief. I've seen there were some really sizable ones. Just wanted to keep it brief. There's been a lot going on, so I want to move on to the reimagining. I think we're all pretty familiar with what's gone on, but if you have any questions, got staff here, got Dalton back there and Michael, we got a lot of staff in here, so we will do our best to answer anything at all.
We still have active search and rescue going on, is that correct?
I saw them in KSP today.
Yeah, so but for the most part, is debris cleanup kind of wrapping up, or?
What would you say, Michael? We're about 5/8 of the way there.
I think most of it in the park is cleaned up at this point.
When you say park, KSP?
Parks, I think in general, the debris contractors are close to done in the parks. Yeah, we're over 1.5 million cubic yards, and it's gonna be somewhere around 2 million cubic yards total. Most of that's river debris. So we're probably, we're 75% or more there. We're already talking about the debris conversations I'm having, we're talking about closing out the program. So they have 1,000, they have to have right of entry requests for property owners, obviously, to get on their property and clean up. So some folks have said yes, some folks have said, no, I'm fine, I've got it under control. And there's 1,035 of those have been opened, and 750 or so have been closed and completed, so that tracks with about 75% done.
And the dredging of the two lakes, I guess, well, Nimitz Lake is in the city limits. Is that still gonna happen? I mean, is that part of the debris removal? Like whatever's in the bottom there?
No, ma'am, that's all search and rescue, so
Okay.
that's all just a function of search and rescue, and it's just isolated areas.
Okay.
So
So whatever debris is down there is staying, for the most part?
I would say yes.
Okay. Can you swim in a lake?
If you want to.
Is the triathlon gonna take place in the
No.
lake?
It's done.
I mean,
It would have been
this
2
year.
weekends
the
ago.
UGRA released the numbers, and apparently the water's the cleanest it's been in years.
Right.
Very clean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's our discretion. Tara talked about reopening the river to us. Again, down here in Louise Hayes, as things are opening up and people are feeling more comfortable, we're gonna that's happening. We're certainly not going to tell them, hey, get off the water, because that's their right. Now, if it were me, and I didn't know it was down there, and I feel a little tickle on my leg, I might get out real quick. Again, we just don't know what's down there insofar as root systems and whatnot, so
Are there fish?
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is it, don't we normally have a fishing season that starts around now? Is that gonna?
We're not that far down the road
Okay,
yet.
I was just wondering.
No, there's fish in there, and the fishermen, you're gonna start seeing them out there.
Yeah.
So, that's okay. We don't, we like seeing people utilizing
Right.
the resources available to them. As y'all are probably aware, a lot of the river trail is open. I say a lot because not the whole thing is. If you look on social media, I didn't have it planned, but if you look on social media, those green areas, those thatched green areas are the areas that are open. We suspect that west of the Limos Bridge is gonna take a little while. We're gonna try to get that nature center entrance open and just block it off to the west towards Dieter and have people be able to filter down towards Tranquility Island as soon as we can. We've got some contractors online for some work that needs to be done with safety rails on the walking bridges and the library entrance also. So we're in the process of doing that, but for now, what is open is very well publicized on social media. And y'all run into people who have questions about that, have them give us a call, and we can help get them to where it's open, because we
So
want them to use it.
The places to access is Lehman's Park, or Lehman?
Yes.
No, where?
G Street, Brookdale Trailhead, which is inside of River Hills, and Shriner University.
Okay.
And you can
So
actually.
Lehman Park is still closed?
Lehman
Lehman
Monroe
Road.
Park and Louise Hayes Park are closed to vehicular traffic, but we plan to open.
Just say it tomorrow, it'll be.
So, well, I was gonna say, can you go in with a bike?
Yes.
Yes.
It's been open to pedestrian traffic all week, and you can ride in, walk in, access that way. It's just been closed to vehicular traffic.
Okay.
Saw a little boy on his Strider bike and his monster helmet in there a couple days ago, made me very happy.
Yep.
Yeah, so things are opening back up. And so any other questions before we kind of move on to the future? Yes, sir.
I have a question more about the debris, and it's the non-natural debris, right? You know, obviously, the trees and the brush is fine, but do we know things in Nimitz Lake and whatnot? What's metal? What's a car? What's down there? Are we aware?
Yeah, yes and no, right? So they pulled out some 40-plus vehicles, of all kinds, right? Search and rescue's done, I think everything. They pulled out when the water treatment plant was damaged, a ton of stuff got right next to where the opening of the hole is where we intake the water. And underneath all that debris was F-250, something like that. And so we know, yes and no. I don't know, it's hard to say it that way. The debris contractors, their responsibility is if it's above the water, they gotta pull it out, right? You can see it, right? So you can see like there's Republic dumpsters in the water, right? That's gonna go. And the debris contractors are gonna get that stuff out. Under the water, there's less of that, you know, 'cause you can't see it, right? And so that's not part of their scope.
You mean less of the removal? Less of the removal? Less of the.
Yeah. You know, one of the pieces about the nature of the flood was the fact that it was going so hard and so fast, right? And so those shallow areas is where a lot of that stuff hit and got stuck in the mud. That's where it stayed. The lakes have less of that debris because it was able to move its way through because the water wasn't shallow. But yeah, there's going to be metal debris down there. There's going to be aluminum. The bridge for
Yeah, the
bridge
wash
for
bridge right here.
Canyon Creek.
That's down there.
Whole bridge.
Yeah,
All the
it's
barricades
it's
from
in
the
there, like-
4th of July celebration.
Oh, no, those were removed,
Oh.
yeah.
But in the center of the lake, yeah, there's probably gonna be some stuff that's gonna be harder to get, a little longer to get.
Yeah, naturally.
The fortunate piece for us is that, you know, if these were, Ingram Lake, I think is a different challenge because Ingram Lake allows motorized craft which go fast, right? We have sailboats, kayaks, things like that. So people are gonna be moving at a slower peg. So this is not gonna be too much different than running into the stump of the tree that's still down there. And I think we can attack those as they come up. You know, somebody notifies us, hey, I was at the lake and right here and there's something, we'll get out there and fish it out, figure it out. But it won't be a dredging exercise or anything like that.
Didn't you guys use sonar? There was sonar available from the Coast Guard? and, you know,
Lots
to
of,
tell.
yeah.
Not as much as, not, like you were saying, not as much stuff there as you would think,
Yeah.
right?
There's still a pretty good amount of debris in parts of Nimitz, let's say. There's kind of the shallow side and a deeper channel. On the shallow side, there's some more debris that's down there. But it's like every flood, there is debris that's gonna make its way down there.
Like the base of dams and.
So we should start calling it debris and then trash. Like the debris would be natural and trash is
Natural
like-
debris is good.
Yeah.
It's good for the.
Well, that's what I'm saying. When you say there's debris down there, is it
Rubbish.
rubbish trash or is it, you know, river debris?
It's a combination of all
Or is it every,
things,
yeah.
You know?
And so when we talk about it, it'd be good to clarify organic debris or
Yeah, maybe
trash
organic and
debris.
non-organic.
Yeah,
It's a good way to.
right. Just so when you talk about it or people ask you questions or whatever. that-
That's a good way to frame it, yeah, I
Yeah.
agree.
Anyway.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Anything else before we start talking about the
The
fun?
real,
What?
All right, so we've iterated this map a few times now. This will be going to council. Elaine, you'll get to see this council in a workshop in a month or so. Maybe before that, I don't know. It's all that.
I can't wait.
So this, we wanted to keep, I'm gonna get up here and kind of do an arm waving exercise. We wanted to keep things that we didn't want to rebuild, just in case of another flood, kind of up and out of the way. That would require moving the dog park a little bit to the east. Talked with the dog park people, they're actually really stoked about it, so. We may hear positive things at meetings, which is great. I have a memorial splash pad and playground right here. I'm gonna show you some very preliminary renderings of that here in just a minute. Of course, we're gonna need increased parking for all of the demand for that space. Okay, moving to the west a little bit. Fitness court, which was right here and was completely washed downstream. We found a lot of it down here at G Street and sprinkled throughout the park. I think we're gonna put this more in this area, but this is fine for now. Right there, and then a covered basketball court right here. That's one thing, just because I'm a basketball guy doesn't mean I wanted basketball there. We do need a covered basketball on this side of town. We have one at Carver. But putting another one here seemed like a very good idea. So if you know,
where's the pavilion?
the pavilion's right here. So there is a playground right there currently that is unsuitable to reuse. So that will, with, you know, Disney World over here, that's gonna be small fry. So we feel good about, you know, converting this over into a space where adults can recreate. This will kind of be the adult recreation area, the kids recreation area, right? So there's a good mix here. This isn't really, we haven't thought about, we have thought about changing it, it just kind of doesn't work. This is kind of a set in stone type of a place. I know this used to be a tennis court. I did find that out during this whole thing. But down here, you can put pickleball courts in flood zones. And that is something that we do need, is pickleball courts to meet the demand of that growing sport. And again, it's really important to have kids and seniors so that intergenerational play happens. Parking structure, again, with pickleball courts, you have to provide more parking. This parking lot was completely washed away. There's about that big of a ledge right up here. We're gonna have that barricaded off. Don't try that. Don't try going down there when this reopens tomorrow. But picnic areas over here. One of the pieces of direction that our mayor just really loves about this park, you'll see a lot of picnic areas sprinkled throughout. There's not gonna quite be as much shade here for the next generation or so. So We're gonna try to utilize natural shade and artificial shade structures so that people can get out in the park like they used to and really bond to it again, right? So pickleball courts, yeah, we talked about those, and then we thought Lupe, the bass, kind of became a de facto symbol in the
He made it,
community.
he did make it, I know.
And she's right here, so we thought about putting a memorial next to Lupe just for that reason, but obviously all of these things can be moved around, right? But this is what we have now, and then we added this right here. That would be a boardwalk road and or river trail, kind of a loop extension.
That was
is-
there before, right?
Mm-mm.
no.
It's from the Kerrville, from the.
But the idea has existed, but we put it down on a master plan.
Yeah.
Now, I understood that that got further washed away, that cliff got eaten into some in the flood.
You know, it was pretty heavily vegetated, and I have heard from Jay that they're gonna go back in here in the next couple of weeks and clean that opposite side off, so that north side. So just in terms of debris removal, you might see some more guys on little barges getting stuff out of there.
So is this gonna be above the floodplain?
It will need to be designed. Notice that the biggest element of recreation in the entire town is in the floodplain, and literally none of it got washed away, except for the bridge that's down there. So, engineers can do their job,
You mean the trail?
Yes.
trail.
Yeah.
Some parts got close, but they're still there.
I knew there were holdouts on the trail going there before,
Right.
so that's been solved.
Nope.
Okay.
It's on a master plan.
Sounds good, yeah.
It's a line on a map.
Yeah. I mean, so when you say boardwalk, are you saying more elevated kind of thing, or?
We don't know yet.
Okay. 'Cause-
There is an elevated, like, concept plan that we had drawn up
Right.
2018, maybe 2014, something like that. That's basically, if you, I don't know, if you've been to Green, Texas, and you've been to the grist
Yeah.
mill, right? It's basically the Arcadia back porch that would run all the way from the library to
Out the overlook.
the overlook.
Cool idea.
Yes, it's a great
Economic
idea.
development, there's a lot of, again, we wanted to include some economic, obviously, parks and recreation, there's a lot of overlap with economic development, that's a direct correlation, right? So, there you go.
Okay.
That took a lot of time.
Yeah, I'm just remembering that we had that piece of river trail in there, and then we pulled it out of the plan, isn't that right?
It's
And
still
then-
in the plan.
Okay.
And we were trying to avail
Get
ourselves to a
TxDOT.
TxDOT
Right.
grant, but they
Right.
require that you have all the easements prior to, and then the deadline happened after the flood, and we just said, no, we don't care at
Okay.
this point. But yeah, there are still a few easements that we did not obtain.
So, in looking at this, the one thing, you know, those apartments there and a basketball court, and, you know, just to be conscious of the people that live there and
We'll
their
focus group
noise,
this.
yeah.
We'll focus group it.
And
Again,
then,
we wanted this group to see it,
yeah,
and then council to see it, and then we'll open it up for the
Yeah.
GP to start talking.
and then the other thing is, you know, pickleball also is very, very noisy, and
It's in the best place for it to be noisy,
probably,
probably.
I mean, but, you know, you have the quiet of the, you know, the whole sense of being on the river and peaceful, and then, you know, the noise of the pickleball right there, so I don't know. Some
What's
people-
over there where the splash pad used to be, that was too.
Fair enough.
Do you have pictures of the playground, or like the?
Oh, I
concept
do.
of it?
Sounds like somebody wants to move on. Tell me to stop when you want to stop.
So, and these, the idea is that these are gonna be all inclusive, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
Look at the ground.
I know.
So this stuff is sensory, again, it's inclusive, all of this is
Yeah.
inclusive. As long as I'm here,
Yes,
we're gonna do inclusive stuff, there's no reason not to.
right, exactly. This looks fun.
We liked,
And wasn't there?
we
the-
liked the wildlife sort of thing.
Right.
What the designers were impressed with when I gave them a tour was just how much wildlife is in the park still.
Right.
And we love that. We love that natural element. So.
This is a good company, I don't know if that's just,
Oh no, that.
they are, okay,
Oh, yeah,
awesome.
they're-
Do you
so-
know of this? Yeah.
So Whirlix, this is not an infomercial for them. I'm not being paid by them at all. But I've done Whirlix designs, and I've done anybody else. And if I have to call these guys once for a piece of equipment, I've got to call the other guys 10 times. So, I mean, there's stuff just lasts, it works. It is the long haul sort of stuff.
It's not in the floodplain.
And it isn't in the floodplain. So this is called the We Go Round. I could go on and on. We have one of these in Arizona. It's a big hit. But I got lots of renderings, lots of fun stuff.
And then, yeah.
This middle part, I was at the conference in Orlando a couple weeks ago, and they had a middle portion there actually on the floor. I'm like, we got to have one of those. You got to redesign it. So they're redesigning it for us.
I know one thing I've heard in the past at the Guadalupe Park.
Yes, sir.
That the wheelchair swing was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't see one there, but I was just mentioning
The
it.
big one.
Yeah, the big one that was, yeah.
Well, just that little we go round, I know what that costs, so this is,
It's going to be a lot.
yeah.
So that's the footprint for all you nerds out there.
Was there a water element that we were bringing into this?
It's like you read my mind, Lisa.
You want segways, right?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Splash pad.
That's a splash pad.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Look at the thing with the dumps, the big bucket.
I know.
Oh, I'm so glad to see that, because if anybody says anything to me about all of this, they go, well, are we gonna have that splash pad back
Yeah.
again? The splash pad,
Was
we have
really
that back.
popular.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're
Yeah,
gonna
we're
actually
have
have things that come out of the ground and are fun to play on. When the water is turned off, it's fun to play on. That was kind of the idea.
Probably easier to get the water up to that spot by landing
I think
in the right?
we have an 8 up there or 6. Yes, we have lots of water. So I know you're saying, what the hell, a rainbow trout in Texas? Because that's what I told him. I was instantly, I'm like, what? So I'm gonna fast forward here. There's lots of cool things.
This is the only thing that didn't wash away.
I said, okay, we've got to have a Guadalupe Bass.
There we go.
Contract, okay?
Yeah.
So they're working on that.
Oh, my gosh.
It really was the only thing that wasn't washed
Right.
away.
Yeah.
So we saw a lot, it was kind of, fawning season.
Yes.
So there were a lot of little deer out there.
Are we sure we want the water coming out of that angle?
I know.
There's always one thinking that way. We can redesign that. I know the same thing. We'll have it coming out of its back, not its butt.
Russell's like, come on.
Well, because all those little kids will, that'll be the one thing they focus on, right?
They're gonna find something, no matter what.
No matter what.
I was gonna say, don't kids make a lot of noise too?
Yeah.
Kids make a lot of noise, that's kind of the point. It's a park.
So the new splash pad is year round. It doesn't actually require water. Like, it'll have other things.
It's a
that
wet
it
dry.
can-
It's a wet dry, yeah. So it'll be in addition to, it changes, right? But how often do you guys have to winterize here? Again, I haven't been through a winter here, I apologize for the dumb question.
I mean,
So it's dependent upon the cold front.
we had that
comes in.
one big freeze, right? It rains and then it froze and then we were all stuck for a week.
Is that okay? It's coming out of its back there.
It's all right. We'll allow it. Yeah, we'll allow it.
So yeah, there's the aerial for you nerds.
I think
Okay.
even in the winter, I think the splash pad kept running to keep it from
Right.
freezing, right? And the
Right.
lights were on it and stuff, so.
And you would get, there were kids in
Yeah,
there.
people would get in it all year
Yeah.
round.
So this is just it's a huge aerial. I don't know if I can back it off enough. I can, it won't let me.
So
Okay,
that-
so this is the entrance down back behind HEB, the drive-in entrance. okay?
Yeah.
Okay. Where the dog park
Look at this.
Oh,
Wow.
That'd be great.
Got Texas in there.
You got a little amphitheater right there. Now, this is all pie in the sky stuff, guys,
Yeah.
okay? These are renderings, but just to show you, we've got a team working that knows how to design stuff, right? And then there's your dog park. I call it timid, not timid, right? That's kind of the new nomenclature. Large dog, timid dog. Okay, you see a lot of trees up here, kind of, there aren't that many trees up there right now. So that means we're gonna plant some trees, guys.
Right in that spot.
Where's
Alright.
the funding coming from?
That's
We don't
a
have
great
that.
question. There's gonna be quite a big price tag.
Yeah.
Like bulk.
Oh, it's,
Oh.
that's, I mean,
Should I say it?
I know it's.
Yes,
bad, 'cause
I mean, I
know
think
it's-
it's a good idea to know what the pie in the sky is.
As a range, you're looking somewhere between, what did we talk about, Jay?
10.
6.5 to 10,
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know? Still try to track down the numbers, and there's a lot of stuff to track
There's a
down.
lot of positive movement in the community to do something like this.
We need it.
This is, you know, despite the horrible tragedy, and again, we bled, sweated and cried all together. We want to make this part of the park, the epicenter, like the heartbeat of the entire city. And the place where people can come and they don't feel like they're nervous. Because right now, you talk to people and they're like, looking around, we want a place of peace, a place to heal.
Are we gonna, put back the stage that was down there?
No comment.
What will happen to
Probably not.
public performances?
So,
We're trying to figure that out.
yeah. Apparently where that stage was located, the sun was directly in your eyes as you were trying to watch whatever.
And as you were
it
trying to
was.
perform.
As
right?
perform, and so the placement of it in terms of the sun.
Well, I don't care where you put it,
Yeah.
but I would love to see another
Yeah.
place. Because this was the best year when they did the
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare Park, this was, the way
Yeah.
they did the Tempest was just wonderful.
Yeah, it was a good performance.
And,
We
you
may
know,
need to rethink.
and I have to say, I like to take the kids, some of the kids from the youth orchestras down there and let them play for people on a Sunday afternoon, and they love to do it, and,
What about if we
They're all
were to
hands.
do something a little bit more portable?
okay.
I come from a community where we had something a little more portable, and it was the best. It was amazing.
I think originally one of the things, wasn't there something about because you wanted electric power to that thing? Was that right? Was there power
There was
to that?
power.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and
They
that
have
was,
lights.
I know,
There
so that was the other,
Was.
Right.
Yeah.
So that
Oh,
was
and
the
they
other
had
big,
just gotten all the new,
I know.
all the things.
How heavy that section of I-beam was, it made it probably 100 yards. I mean, it's crazy how far it went.
But so you're talking portable, so you guys set it up when there was something that was gonna be performed and then you took it down?
Again, we hadn't thought about how to
No,
address that.
the one that you are
Yes,
familiar
so,
with.
it just looks like an 18-wheeler, and it's like a transformer, just hydraulically comes up. It actually folds out, so the stage is much larger than that, like doubles, or more than doubles in size. It's pretty neat. They don't make that model anymore, but they make similar things. So, lots to consider.
Yeah, that would be something that would have to be stored and, all
That's
that
not
little stuff, right?
terribly difficult.
Okay.
Not super heavy, it doesn't, if somebody can drive a trailer, they can drive it.
Right. Is that what the stage was that was put up for the 4th of July?
It won't be that delicate. That one was pretty delicate. Because it's like a million different little pieces.
Yeah.
This one isn't quite that.
You get the modern one.
The overall idea though
just
is
money.
keep things out of floodplain.
Yeah.
We can, yeah, that's the idea.
Can I ask about Ranger McDonald?
Sure. What do you want to know?
I'm wondering, well, it says here, reassessing the viability of the project. And I'm thinking about the setback to small sailboats and all that, when we don't know exactly what's under the water and
That's something that
May not.
council is gonna need to consider.
Yeah.
We're having that discussion internally, and, you know, a lot of things changed on the 4th of July.
yeah.
And a lot of perspectives changed, so we need to figure out what council's thinking and how they would like to proceed with that. At this point, we don't know.
Is the bank, the embankment of the lake on that side still there? For the most part where it was before? So the edge, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Edge is still the same, but we don't know what's under the water.
Was the park area compacted by the heavy equipment like the UGRA part was?
So, down at Louise Hayes,
No, Granger McDonald,
I don't know.
because they apparently ruined the native plant section of the UGRA's land, which is right next to Granger McDonald.
So the
They're
flood didn't
supposed to-
ruin it,
They ran their heavy equipment over it and pretty much destroyed everything that was growing there. It was still growing there.
was it for an access issue or something?
I think they were just, yeah,
Clearing debris.
yeah, they're picking up debris. So I just wondered if the whole situation at Granger McDonald might be different now.
Not all of it. The areas that are closer to the water from where that road used to be, but not above it. So half.
Yeah.
Right. Anywhere that they had to get into the water or adjacent to the water. Search and rescue used that area to get in
Yeah.
quite a bit.
Okay, are there, is this all,
No, I mean, there's a million things, right? If you have questions, just give me a call if you think of something. Question or something, I'll do my best to answer it.
Has the FEMA shutdown affected us in any way?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
The FEMA, this government, this short-term thing here, has that affected us in any way?
We don't know yet.
We don't know.
No, too soon.
They're still answering the phone calls. So that,
At least we get that.
we have that. We haven't asked for a dollar yet, though.
Oh, dear.
Jay, I might offer one thing about Nimitz Lake. The
Sure.
only thing that was really affected in its future projects for this board was, you know, y'all had talked about river trail all the way around the lake. A pretty good side of the high bank side of Nimitz, like in front of us, behind Snowflake Donuts, it looked like somebody carved out with like a butter knife, just kind of whoosh. It doesn't look like that area would be where the river trail would be. And we obviously, that's a future project. But, you know, the bank erosion on the high side is a challenge. Yeah, it's just a challenge because there's not, like the bank that's downtown has established cypress trees. It has a lot of ability to retain, you know, itself. And the area that's over on the lake is a little, it has less vegetation on that side.
did a lot of those businesses get, with the bank going away?
If you go over to the landing and you just look across, you'll see what I'm talking about.
Okay.
It really, it just looks like somebody
Yeah.
just took a knife to it and just kind of cut through
So
about
this-
15 feet, 20 feet or something like that.
So the stabilization is probably questionable?
Well, the amount of space that you have between where the businesses are and where the, you know, new water's edge is, just got shorter. So, but again, that's a long ways away from the
Right.
project.
Well, it was anyway, I mean, it's 25 million and like 48 different private properties you have to get easements for. So, big project.
Well,
Okay.
Well, the good news is the bird blind is getting close to being completed. Ethan's guys have been out there working on the water that's gonna draw the birds to the Kerrville Shriner uphill portion. And the fence needs to be put out, and maybe in a month.
Yeah, we're
We can
really
open it
excited
up.
about that.
Hmm?
David Hunt is so excited about that. He's the one
Oh, yeah.
that brought it all
Yeah.
up.
And I think that will draw more people to the park.
Oh, yeah.
The birding people come and spend money in Kerrville, hopefully. Because the river trail was the big attractor, and it didn't have the birds that it did.
They'll come back.
Are we because that's a good point, basically trying to knock out whatever other projects that we can to take advantage of, hey, how do we do the things that we can, the golf course reopening,
That was great.
yeah,
Yeah.
disc golf, any of that stuff. Because I think that it's important to
Have some
complete
wins.
as much as we can while we can. Because economically, we're gonna take a hit no matter what. And we don't really see what it's gonna look like yet. But I know that tourism is gonna take a hit regardless. So it's important to kind of capture whatever we can while we can.
Well, the whole world now knows about Kerrville, Texas.
I know.
I mean, wherever we go.
Mhm.
And we were in Maine, and someone said, where are you from? And
Yeah.
we're from Texas. Where? Kerrville, Texas. Oh.
Which is good, but
Okay,
that,
give me money.
but at the same time, it's great that they know our name on the map, but that doesn't mean that they're
That
coming
they're
to the
gonna
town and
come.
spending money.
Right.
Because I've seen that across the
Right.
board, not only in my industry and people I work with, but I mean, we're trying to deal with that with the Community Foundation Board. And we're dealing with that at all of our meetings
Are
too.
they giving you any money?
Well, we can
No.
talk about that.
No.
So I did want to mention also, the formalities are taking place as we speak, but Guadalupe Park will be redone soon. So that's happening, and the NBA actually put kind of a consortium together, and me and Ethan toured them around a little bit, and they were very impressed with what they saw. Guys, there's a lot of horsepower in this city, and we get things done, and they recognize that, and they want a quick win, right? For a basketball analogy. And so we want to get that park back online as soon as we can. And there will be lots of partners, and so stay tuned we can announce soon who those partners will be. So,
Including the playground?
including the playground, and there will be pickleball courts there.
Okay.
Because the Dieter Center's closed, right? We want
Yeah.
to tap into
Yeah,
that, have that intergenerational play. Those are very, very important things. Those are buzzwords in my profession. That intergenerational play is wildly important.
The only thing, I mean, I'm so happy about that, I mean, that inclusive playground, and we did that big fundraiser, and Rose, you got the money, and then it just opened, and then.
Was it in March,
went
right?
away, and,
Yeah.
you know, and, but are we worried about putting in the exact same place? Because it,
That was a generational flood. It's actually out of the main floodway. It's
Okay.
kind of on the fringe. So again, you can't ever tell.
I know.
But that's,
Park is kind of,
It wasn't a
Where's he gonna put it?
500-year flood. It was a 1,000-year
yeah, but
flood.
we're not putting anything in the floodplain at Louise Park, and I'm just wondering,
is it?
you know, is it something, I mean, is it?
but I think that
like,
whole park
why
is in the
did
floodplain.
Why did
Yeah.
Guadalupe
Yeah, it
survive?
floods
Was it
every
the
time
way he was
somebody
hammered down in
lets
there?
their
Is there any
soap
way to
in
do the thing? You just don't know.
Just don't know.
Okay.
I did some research on this. I actually mentioned it on the lead a few weeks ago, however long ago that was. Like 13% of Texas parks are in flood zones. And so if you want to have a park, it's, you know, more than a 1 in 10 shot, it's in risk of being washed away, provided the circumstances. Yes, sir.
So the park is on the high side of the water over there, right? And so the water, when it crested the dam, it was over on
Right.
the low side. So that's the reason it was.
Just wondering, you know, can you do the pilings just a little bit deeper, or?
Or do
Talk to,
dirt, you could do dirt work to make it higher.
If
It's
it happens
expensive.
again, it'll happen again.
Well, they have that church that there's putting on, by
I don't believe
173.
they're doing that anymore.
Oh, yes, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, I can hear them out my back door every day, and the way I looked at it, it changes, they brought in so much space. You gotta go that way and look at it, because
So then,
they tried to make it,
There's on 173.
yes, uh-huh.
So that area where the church is putting their property or their new churches at, the water never reached.
It didn't
that
reach
height.
there.
Well, and that's great.
They haven't changed any of the riverbank itself in that area.
Good, I've been wondering
It's
about
out
that.
closer to 173.
Nothing, and then all of a sudden it's that high. And those dump trucks make such a noise.
The machines that you might be hearing is also the debris crews.
Yeah.
It's been working on
And
it.
we're blowing on them.
Yeah, that's true.
But I've seen
I think
this-
unfortunately, we're gonna be dealing with that for a lot of our parks because all of our, I mean, the river is one of the main attractions to our town.
Right.
And so everything congregates around the water, so it's like you can't move, I mean, you could, but why would you? You take away
Right.
the jewel of our town just in general.
Right.
So it's just learning to work with it, and sometimes that means it, like the river trail, sometimes that means that it gets flooded over and then it dries up and the river trail's fine. And I think that that's an easy, because it's so much momentum behind that park specifically, that we don't have to fundraise again, essentially. That this is ready to go.
Right.
And then let's do it, because when else are you gonna get that opportunity? And that park is so small and like awkward shaped as it is, I don't, unless you're talking about trying to move it to a whole other park maybe,
No,
but
no,
it
just
takes
was
away
wondering
from it, I
if
think.
there's-
Well, we're gonna
Yeah,
do
lots.
inclusive playgrounds
Right.
throughout, yeah, so we're gonna have more.
Yeah.
Real quick, Jay, in light of what kind of other Dalton was saying, yeah, there's two Daltons that are in this space.
Yeah, how,
Talking about, getting those small wins, is the board really, as a majority, are in favor of getting those small wins? So using the disc golf course as an example, because I want to talk about some of the misinformation side of things, and I want to shut down misinformation. We have the funding for the disc golf course, and we're able to do that. Is the board, in favor of wanting to get a program out there by the end of the year? Doesn't mean we're scrapping other stuff, and so I'm gonna compare it to, the bike trails on Singing Wind, Singing Wind Park. We're still in the process of mapping all that out, but we're starting to get misinformation that we're scrapping the bike stuff, which is obviously false. That is not true at all. We started getting some emails that was coming through, so I don't know who's spreading that misinformation, but somebody is spreading misinformation. But what I want to get is consensus from the board, so when I speak with, city council on it, is the Parks Board overall wanting to continue with the small wins and the small victories that we can get on the projects or not? Or do we want to hold off on things until we have this overall big picture? Is that kind of on par with what you were kind of talking about Dalton, a little bit?
Yeah, I don't know especially so, that would be a relatively small ticket item that was already approved and already passed through and already wanted and already set in motion. It's also a small ticket item, but it's still a win. And right now, we need every single win that we can get for publicity, for the public, for participation, for community, for whatever you want to call it. But I think that it's important to take advantage of those while we can. To me, I just feel like there's so many big projects that are going to take a lot of time to do that it looks great on paper and it's going to be awesome with whatever we get to do. But that could be, how long is that going to take? Ideally, how long would that take to construct for a new park like that?
Years.
No, LHP?
Think about, a good example would be,
2 years.
think about
2 years.
the amount of backlash and misinformation that we've had people spew about the Olympic pool being closed. And how, you could go to the Croc Center, no, they charge too much. The two are not connected at all. And yet, people are hounding the city because the pool's closed, because it needs to be. Because there's renovations that have to take place. And so it's gonna be one of those situations like that. So anytime that we can sprinkle in a, hey, we did this, hey, Guadalupe Park's getting refunded, hey, we're doing these things in motion, we need to do it. Like, there's no reason not to, especially if the funding's already done. It's not like a new project that came out of nowhere, to me.
Assuming we had the funding ready for Louise Hayes Park, yeah, 2 years.
Which is awesome, but
accelerated.
that's such a long process for,
And that's
staple.
We have to, like, provided we have council's input, the public's input, synthesizing the money, 2 years.
yeah.
So realistically.
And when does that happen?
3 years,
Yeah.
yeah, at the earliest.
Yeah.
Right?
So, obviously, it's not, this is really for information discussion only, so from the city manager side and then the open meetings act side, that don't need an official vote, but do we have consensus that that's the direction that the board wants to go?
I vote yes.
I would vote yes.
I'd like to speak just really quickly to Singing Wind Park, because when we did the master plan for Singing Wind Park, there was consensus among us that disc golf and bike would be separate. And so I'm just concerned that that is going to be mixed. And the design of the disc golf entails a hole from the very, very top of Singing Wind Park. So hurling a disc from the top of Singing Wind Park, which personally, with a park like that has all kinds of uses, I don't really think is a great idea. So I did voice an opinion that, we had the two sports kind of separate. And so the winds are good, marrying those two sports the way that, for the one piece of elevation of the park is, kind of doing the disc golf part first and then working the bike around it, I don't think is a good idea. But I voiced that, and the plan already is there. When we did the master plan, we purposely split the two things, that where the disc golf was put and where the bike trails were put were separate, because we didn't feel that mixing the two were a good idea. And I especially don't think it's a good idea to allow a disc to be thrown from the top of Singing Wind Park. That we would actually, that hole from the top is a good idea. So, anyway.
No, and kind of talking through both, I know, that kind of come up. We had a professional and semi-professional disc golf folks come in and actually map out the course. So this wasn't just, Dalton Rice and, my inability to be creative, to come out there and do it. We actually have professionals do that. Same thing with the mountain biking, component of that. We will bring professionals in there to, to come out and, navigate that. This isn't the only course that would do it. So, obviously with some, some conflicting challenges, that's why we wanted to, or conflicting points of view, I think, just getting some consensus from the board. Do we want to hold off on disc golf, or do we want to get some of the small victories and still continue on with, the mountain bike, component? What's kind of the feeling of the board?
I just have a question about the mapping. Are they done? Are they both done, the mountain bike and?
The mountain bike is not done. So the mountain bike's gonna have to work around the disc golf, and the disc golf goes up the hill. So that was the only thing.
But these are professional planners.
And so-
It'd be a good idea to have them both mapped out to begin with.
Right. So the deal is that, I don't know very much about disc golf, but I know a lot about biking, and I know a lot about building trail. I've been building trail now for almost 30 years. And the terrain dictates the trail. You don't just decide where the trail is going to go if you want a great trail. So the terrain dictates that, and that's the only thing that I'm concerned about.
Are they hiring somebody to come in to do the trail, or are you designing it?
I mean, we're,
Like you're hiring a professional trail, like that's what they do as like a career. I mean,
there's a lot of those around now. I mean, we built Kerrville Shiner Park, and I mean, Adam and I could quit our job right now and start a trail building company and probably get hired in a lot of places. So, but that's not what we do. But David Appleton, who helped us with that, but we're not like enduro line,
Yeah,
you know, launch your bike off in big berms and all that. And so, but
Yeah,
there are
yeah.
plenty of people that are like that. I prefer to have my wheels on the ground
Yeah.
and cross country.
a little safer, yeah.
Yeah, so like that trail over there is multi-use. You have trail runners, you have dog walkers, you have hikers, you have, you know, mountain biking.
Yeah.
But this would be a different thing. This isn't really like a walking trail. This is, you know, on the elevation piece. So the idea with, you know, when all the public hearings were there, you know, there was probably 40 people in the room for bike, and there were 2 people there for disc golf. And so, you know, there was, you know, we brought the whole thing up, and Susie and Christy were there for disc golf, representing that. And so, anyway, I mean, I'm not opposed. I just think that the last couple of holes that are part of the plan for disc golf should just hang tight until the bike, you know, the bike plan goes in, and then make them work together.
But how do you know that that's gonna conflict with each other? If it hasn't been planned yet?
Because I know what the terrain is like there, and I know how hard it's gonna be to lay out a decent, fun trail.
Yeah.
You know, with.
That's just all I'm wondering, because we're just talking, like, we're talking about unknowns, because the trail for the bike isn't planned yet. So you're wanting to debate it over this 2 holes for something that you're not gonna be designing. So you don't know what it's gonna be yet, but in your opinion, it's gonna conflict with those 2 holes.
It's not necessarily gonna conflict. The thing is to look at the drainage and the fall lines and all that for the bike first. And then make sure that you're not compromising the lines of the bike, because the disc golf is there. But I also have a little bit of a problem about making it okay to hurl a disc from the top of Singing Wind.
So just so the group knows, and these 2 uses do interface, like you can climb around each other. I'm sympathetic to the whole, the rise and the, you know, the erosion element and keeping trail well compacted and designed. So that's an important piece that she's talking about.
Well, what's the concern with the discs being thrown off, you know, from the holes at the top?
It's the people who miss the fairway.
But if they're going that way and then bikes going this way.
Well, all I know, it's not that. It's just the idea that you've given an okay to hurl a disc from the top of the hill. And the people that.
Golf course and all that.
I'm just saying that it's a public park, there's no fee there, there's all kinds of people that are gonna use that, and once you say, you know, there's gonna be your disc golfers, but you're also gonna have a lot of kids there.
Well, I think.
Right, and
I think-
different.
I mean, mountain biking's dangerous though, too.
Well, I think the argument too, where on the, you know, the disc golf side, one of the big challenges, and I run Singing Wind Park quite a bit, you have bandit trails that come out of nowhere, so you are hurling bikes down bandit trails that people aren't paying attention to.
This is why,
That could
right.
also run, and bandit trails are always gonna be there.
So the
No matter
bandit.
what you do, bandit trails are gonna
Right.
still be a problem, you know, within it, because again, it's a public park, it's not. you
So
know, fees.
we've been up there for 30 years, and so we built a trail when we first came, and that is why I got on the Parks Board. I am well aware of the fact that there's never been a master plan at Singing Wind Park, that I have been begging for, including for a mountain bike trail of some sort, and I know the people that are going up there and just going straight down the fall line. That's what we want to, once you build a good trail from the top and work the bike park and the bike trail down there, those bandit trails, for the most part, are gonna go away, because the other trails are gonna be so much more fun. People don't wanna just like stutter bump down, straight down a fall line, and then try to get back up. So they want something fun. I'm not saying that the 2 can't work together, I just, I do know that when you build a trail and then there's something that is already there, so now you have to compromise like what could have been a really fun line, because now you have to go around this thing. And so I just think I think both can work as well. I just think the plan for the bike should have gone first. That's all. I just think the plans for the bike should have
The
gone
problem
first.
that we have with that is that in your director's report, all through last year, it mentions that we're going to be doing a disc golf.
Right, but the the master plan for Singing Wind
No,
Park
no, no,
was
in your
not part.
director's report that you all received at a board
Right.
meeting, it discussed it, and so we as the city moved forward
Right.
with doing disc golf.
But it's in a different, it's moved out of the section that was blocked in the master plan. It has moved way out and moved over into the section that was kind of bike. So it's
And
moved.
the bike has moved also. It's a lot more expansive.
Yeah, there's 100 acres or so out there.
Right.
So, again, to just your concern, I did, after our email, before you went to New
Right.
England, I talked with Sean and I told him, hey, like, we've got some concerns here. And honestly, he's coming in November.
Right.
So I think there can be some, like, planning together, right? Like, us four planning things out. So I think we're maybe concerned about something that we're maybe making a mountain
And
of.
that could be, but I just, there's those few
That's fair.
holes that I
That's fair.
think should just be, you should just
And so
hang
that-
tight
so-
on them. So you're not, so that we're not ending up with this whole big, like, oh man, if we had just done the hole over this
Noted.
direction versus that direction.
No,
So
that's not.
really from the board's perspective, what I would like from the city manager's side, so actually, when I go and talk to council, about the conflicting information, what does the board want to do? Do we want to hold off on the disc golf course, which I'll be honest, if we hold off on disc golf, the funding petition's gonna go away, because I have time limits on ARPA funding that I have to spend it on.
Yeah.
And if I lose the ARPA funding, I'm gonna put it to something else more than likely because of the uncertainty in the unknown.
I think there needs to be disc golf. I don't disagree
Well,
with
so,
that.
so,
I
so what I'm
just,
getting, so real quick, what I'm getting at from the board side is, do we want to have disc golf by the end of the year and in conjunction with the bike folks come in, or do we want to hold off completely and potentially respond?
What's your timeline on funding? When do you have to make
I
that
have the
decision?
funding now.
No, but when do you have to make the decision by?
Pretty much now.
Nah.
can we hold on 2 holes?
No. But what we can do is we can have the gentleman come in prior to Thanksgiving, plan it before, we can think twice before we cut. Again.
That's all I would ask. 'Cause
If that's all you're asking.
I mean, like
that's
20
done, yeah.
feet one way could make a huge difference.
Totally agree.
In the whole thing. And so, if the funding is there, but those couple of holes that are on the hillside, I'm not saying no. You guys are gonna do whatever anyway. I'm just saying, my advice would be to make sure that the two, because if you gotta then, if we could only move this hole 20 feet, we would have both perfect.
Yeah, and that's why I want the will of the board, right? Because what I don't want, especially hearing some of the misinformation going out there now, I'm getting emails that's basically saying we're scrapping the bike stuff, and I'm like, that's not true, that's misinformation. Again, I don't know where it's coming from, but what I don't want to happen is I don't want, things to get to council, and then we're like, well, the board didn't make a decision. So I want a direction from the majority of the board on a consensus on the direction that we want to go, so that way when council comes and asks me, did the Parks Board, discuss this? The answer is yes, and they made a simple majority motion, or vote.
This is the first I'm hearing about any of this,
Yeah,
but,
Agreed.
the bike guy's gonna be here with the disc golf guy too? Yeah, just
The disc golf guy's sitting right behind you with some glasses.
perfect. So, I mean, as long as the bike guy and the disc golf guy are together and making
Yeah.
sure.
I like your analogy, it's like
Yeah,
just
that's right.
measure twice, cut
Yeah,
once, and that's
yeah.
fair.
All I'm asking for.
I was just worried that that's a very bad look if we give away the funding for a project that could have been done for
I
the public,
agree.
because
I
that'll
understand.
also get out, and that's
I
a terrible one.
understand,
So I don't think we need to
understand
do
all
that.
this, and I just am saying, in my experience of building trail, you wanna really make sure, you don't wanna like do some stupid
That's 100%
line.
true, that is true.
Because you have to go around this
Yeah.
thing, that if it was moved over 10 feet, the two would have worked out perfect.
So-
That's all I'm asking.
Put them in the same
Let
room.
me just tell you this,
Yeah.
again, just to give you guys some confidence that we're not buffoons, okay?
Thank you, I agree with that.
That's kind of what I was thinking.
want to say it.
So Sean, this gentleman who's gonna come, he's actually coming to be, he's going to some freaking concert in Austin with his daughter. And I'm like, you're gonna be here, why don't you just come by? And it just worked out, it was serendipitous. I've worked with him in Arizona. I'll send out to you all what we thought in Arizona, what we wanted. And they're like, no, you need to master plan it. And then what the master plan said, it was amazing. He's a savant, okay? In Telluride, guys with 10s and 50s and deca millionaires, okay, pay this guy to develop trail for them. Guys with $20,000, $50,000 bikes, okay? And they interface with disc golf. Maybe not $20,000 bikes, but.
Yeah, that's not.
50,000, we're not there yet.
Well, how did disc golf get stuck with this guy?
So on the disc golf side, you know, Drew, along with one of my buddies from my old city, who's a professional disc golfer, on the professional series, he came in and they mapped it out, you know, along that.
And then, again, those don't have to be what we do. They can move, they can shift, they can weave a little bit. We're not carving things in. Once we start carving things in, we're not even locked in.
Right.
The beauty of disc golf is that you can put a sleeve in the ground with a lock, unlock the lock, go put another sleeve in and put the basket in. Okay?
And I think that's, you know, that's kind of the point is, you know, as disc golf goes in, there is flexibility even after, because you're not drawing out fairways like golf courses. You're not, you know, you're not, you know, doing a whole bunch of, you know, the clearings, a little bit of the clearing side, but for the most part, disc golf is flexible. You put a hole in, you know, in there, even if, you know, the bike, you know, comes in and says, hey, this trail will be good here. It's easy to shift and move. And as a matter of fact, in the disc golf world, that's often what happens is once the course goes in, you're gonna have the professionals come out and play it, and then they'll start adjusting things, you know, as needed.
I think small wins are huge right now.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree too, and I don't mean to be confrontational or anything like that. I'm just speaking, I mean, I understand, you know, all these professional trail builders and everything out there. I've been doing this a really, really long time. And so, you know, I know what kind of challenges there are when you're building this kind of bike park on a piece of property like that.
And his guy would agree with you 100%.
Right.
Everybody's gonna get what they want.
Downhill knows that.
Everybody's gonna get what they want. I have no doubt.
So, small victories.
Small victories for
Yeah.
sure. As many as you can get.
And
If
then
you get more than disc golf, go for it.
Yeah, and just, you know, so you know, I mean, just like the disc golfers, all those people that were riding at Singing Wind Park, they'll all be there volunteering to help maintain it. And I know that. I
So
mean, just like we do it.
are we saying that we're now gonna wait until November, till the bike guy comes before we make a decision about
The
this?
fact that the disc golf holes are not set in stone, that
Yeah, they're never set in stone.
makes.
I don't really think it's a decision that we make as much as it's just like we're in agreement that we we support the fact that that's what they're wanting to do is follow the goals of what they're already doing. It's not a lose.
Is that a
Not as much of a
good answer
vote.
for you?
That is, yeah, it's consensus of the board that, you know, we get, everybody gets a win, you know, we get the wins at different times, but we get the small victories where we can, we put the funding to good use and move forward.
And they work together. Yeah,
And
I
they-
do.
and they work
I agree.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about building trail.
Yeah.
So from the outside, just know I'm not trying to argue as much as, because I don't know anything about building trail and I don't know anything about mountain biking. To me, it just sounds like that's a bad look for us to lose funding and then turn around and then the basis of a conversation is, well, these two holes are kind of in the way of this trail, so we're gonna stop this whole thing. And I know that's not what you were saying, I know, and I won't, and you clarified fully, so I appreciate it. It's just that my immediate thought was, I was like, well, we can't. But again, I don't know all the concerns that you have.
Right,
I
and
get it.
so that was my
Yeah.
whole thing, and I do want you all to understand it. I am not opposing both sports. We made it part of that master plan. Even though there was predominantly mountain bikers and people that wanted the bike trails at Singing Wind at the planning thing, Susie and Christy, who are good friends of mine, you know, disc golfers, and so we got it all apart. And we also kind of created these spaces.
Yeah.
So that was my only concern.
Yeah, it's
is
just brought up for discussion. That was fine. I mean, I
Right.
think it's good. I didn't know anything about it, so I'm glad y'all brought it up.
Yeah,
Well, I'm a walker, and I was thinking about walkers having the disc flag
disc golf
across
has-
in front of them when they're
You won't be walking
No,
out.
that
want
won't
that
happen.
I have
No.
something,
So the disc
maybe for future
golfers-
agendas,
Right,
do we want to just move on?
yeah.
Yeah, let's move
I
on.
think we should.
Well, I like the walking element too. I think we do
Right.
need to, we need to incorporate some loops for walkers.
It's
Yeah.
all,
It should be all
Enough
entertaining.
space to do
there,
that.
there is enough, and there's enough elevation, and I think, you know, when I started understanding disc golf, especially, you know, they use the trails to get to the holes, but then they want their holes to go through the woods. They don't want their holes to go along the walking trail or
Yeah.
over the trail. So they want to like some technical thing there and, you know,
Do we have anything else we need to cover today? Because I need to go.
I was gonna bring is this items for future agendas?
Sure.
There's a lot of talk about like erosion, you know, we talked about, Michael talked about erosion, and there's been people that have come to this Parks Board in the past about mowing policies. And there was against some people's thoughts, but like mowing right up against to the edge of like Louise Park to the water and stuff like that. And we're always talking about how we're undermanned and not having enough people to mow and stuff. I think it would be a good time to really say, hey, we're gonna let grasses grow there to help stop erosion, plant trees there, and I mean, you could change your mowing policies.
Russell,
possibly.
there was a workshop this spring for, UGRA put on
Right.
for landscape people.
Sure.
And they have quit mowing along the creeks.
Yeah, right.
yeah.
The park staff. And this summer, there were painted buntings in Town Creek because they have not been mowing everything.
Yeah, I mean, I know the bird people really care about it, the environmental people really care about it, so the less mowing, I think would be awesome.
The person I care about the most, Tara Bushnell,
Mhm.
she was the one who's like,
Right.
hey, you need to change this. I'm like, done.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect, yeah.
Already done.
There's just been talk about that for years.
Well,
and I
if you
think-
remember.
And that's something we talk about a lot. People are very concerned with that. So that's a great suggestion and we need to get that out.
Perfect,
We
okay.
had a
Awesome.
period of time that we weren't mowing all our parks, and then everybody complained about
Well, it
that.
depends on where
Yeah,
too.
that's
Yeah.
true.
I'm gonna let Jay
I mean,
make
it was
it
true.
where he
We
wants to
didn't-
mow.
We didn't mow at Louise, or Tranquility Island, it was not being
We're
mowed.
not gonna mow much out there
Right.
as it's coming back.
Right. Anyway, and then everybody complained that, do you remember that you were there on Parks Board, right? Everybody complained, how come you're not mowing out there?
It's that there's
I
smart
know.
places to mow and
Yeah, so.
we just have to manage it that way.
It's just like you do this, and then you got this group, and then you do this, and then you got that group.
That long-term recovery group, riparian, is, a lot of the conversations are about
Are we losing you, Kate?
planting seeds, planting brushes, planting trees that
Yeah.
are native out there, and making sure that
Yep.
that we do that. And so we had offered parks, basically, and mostly, like, not the area where, like, the kids go jump off the dam.
Sure, yeah,
Right?
smart.
But picking spots on the other side of the bridge even where it's like,
Mhm.
it's kind of mixed in. They'll mow little sections where you can
Yeah.
get into,
Yeah,
little
that's actually
sections where
separate.
fishermen can go.
Yeah.
Fishermen like it when there's a bunch of branches
Yeah.
out there anyway, because the fish will hang out
Yeah.
there.
Like Jay said, we can assume that he's, how'd you phrase it earlier? That you're
Not a buffoon.
Not a buffoon.
Not all the time.
I just wanted to bring it
I have
up.
my
and make-
moments. Ask,
I can-
ask Michael, ask Rosa.
I think we all do.
A lot.
I can tell people that we're gonna be mowing less.
Yeah. Anytime I can help my guys mow less.
Yeah.
That's what I always
I'm
thought.
taking a long, hard look at that when you tell me, hey, mow less. I'm listening.
Yes.
I always thought
I know,
that.
and we just asked you to mow that whole field over there.
Yeah, and once a year is no big deal.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, around this time of year mowing.
It's dusty.
yeah.
Well, it can be good, you know, things are going dormant, but yeah, with more of that, with more grass, you get, obviously, she was talking about the birds, you know,
Snakes and rats.
quail and
Depends on
everything
the
else
kind
that
of-
comes
yeah,
back. It's
that's-
just better for the ecosystem
Right.
as a conservationist point of view.
Yep. Okay, announcements of community interest. I just wanted to mention, I don't know what the response was to Shane, but there, you know, one of the things when you sign up to be on the board is to help the city with all of the events that they do. You know, that they are doing all this and need help, and so the two big things coming up is Halloween and then the holiday lighted parade. So if you could look at your schedules and try to get back to Shane to
I
see,
need to
or,
find that email. What is it that y'all are looking for on the holiday lighted parade?
We need someone to help out at the judge's tent downtown.
there's
So-
like 3 or 4, yeah.
Yes, and Lisa, if you have questions, happy to talk offline afterwards, but it's essentially scoring and tabulating numbers and things like that. And then obviously
I may be able to help with some of that. I
That's the
can't with the Fall Fest thing because we participate both by business and my family does the family costume contest, so it's like.
But just so you know, that the holiday lighted parade, when you help with that, you don't really get to see the floats. Although you guys did a great job holding it up a little bit, it wasn't as fast last year, so it's easier.
So, yeah, it's, we're not gonna make it do hard stuff, but we do need the help.
And then Halloween, for the
Costume contest.
costume contest.
I'm in it, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
can't be a
you've
judge.
got-
I will, if you want me to. I'm just telling you, I
So,
will.
and I think if you, I mean, you would take people outside of the Parks Board too as volunteers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great.
So
Yeah,
if
okay.
those people that might be able to help or whatever, because
You
the
can
the
volunteer.
holiday
That I can do,
light,
okay.
the holiday light parade for sure, but then Halloween is big, and it gets bigger and bigger every year.
I will tell you what, I am, since signing up like our Napa stores to participate in it, the last like few years, it's amazing.
It's
how years ago, whenever my oldest was a kid, we would be like in little neighborhoods and stuff in town, and then we randomly went to that one like years back, and then we're like, this is pretty good. Then once we started signing up to participate, we're like, people that we talk to, they don't even go around neighborhoods really
No.
anymore. They're all like congregating there. It's literally like almost a fall festival for our town. Everything is like hearted right there.
Well, it started here, and then it outgrew here, and then it like,
So, I
now
mean,
it's even.
Kudos, I mean, it's an awesome,
Yeah.
it's an awesome.
It's gonna be an
project.
interesting year for it, for the first.
I'm looking
year,
forward to
for
it.
sure. No, it's gonna be great. but
Yeah.
It's gonna be interesting just having, you
Yeah.
know,
Everybody there.
the quarter after a major disaster,
Yeah.
having everybody back there. It'll be great, but it'll be
And I
different.
think kudos more importantly to people like you and your businesses organizations who, they do the work, right? They sign
Yeah.
up, they come in with the booths.
I try to tell people, like, it doesn't cost you a thing.
Yeah.
You just get to participate, you get to participate like in like your community, just something fun. And it doesn't cost you anything to sign up and participate, except for the candy you buy or whatever, but still.
But you buy that anyway.
Yeah.
Great holiday, right? Knock on any door and get as much candy as you want.
The dentists need to sponsor the whole thing.
That's true.
Now the candy's a write-off, right?
All right,
Listen,
and
if it's not-
I just talked to my CPA about that.
What are the volunteer days for the trail or this Kerrville Shriner Park? Is there still volunteer events scheduled?
We're in the process of coordinating some
Cleanup.
work days. We haven't decided what we're calling them.
I'm working with UGRA to get one of the big park.
Okay.
Because before those grasses start growing, we want to get out there and clean up the inorganic.
Right.
Inorganic, yeah, the inorganic.
I think the community would love to do that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we have,
There are a lot
you
of
mentioned,
people,
working
yeah.
with UGRA to do some stuff.
Okay.
We'll probably have
It's kind
some.
of a bit of
Because I may
humor
be
for
able
them
to
as
bring a
well.
crew from Kerrville ISD
That would be
that wants
wonderful.
to help, so you will let us know when that is. Okay.
It'll be very well publicized.
Okay.
Yeah. And then the last thing, we're doing the Mountain Bike Festival.
When is that?
It's October 25th and 26th.
It's not next weekend, but.
Yeah, 2 weeks,
Yeah.
yeah.
So anyway, we've been doing a lot of cleanup and stuff on the trail, and, we wanna try to show it off the best we can.
What is that?
What's
Mountain
that?
Bike Festival?
Yeah, what is that? What is that? The
It's a mountain bike festival, so it's a Texas State, we're the USA Cycling Texas State Championship race, one-day race on Sunday for mountain biking. We're also part of the Texas Mountain Bike Racing Association Fall Cup. We're the final race of that. And so that's Sunday is all that. There's 39 different classes and categories that are recognized during the race. So there's like 10 and under, 12 and under, then Cat 3s and Cat 2s and Cat 1s and pros and all that kind of stuff. And then Saturday, we do a bunch of festivals. There's a women's only pre-ride that's open to anybody, any woman, that's free. We have a face painter there. We do a costume crit, adult junior team time trial. We have a Halloween hunt at like 7 o'clock. We hide a bunch of candy in the trees and then the kids go find it.
It's all right here.
Right.
You're right, right.
That's getting mowed,
Uh-huh.
yeah. And so Friday, we do setup, you know, if anybody wants to help. Saturday, I don't need as much help, but then, you know, Sunday I need help. So if you know anybody, or just to bring, I mean, Saturday festival, there's a free kids cup and safety clinic. You know, there's a first time racers clinic. There's a bunch of kind of fun events that are all part of mountain bike racing, but it's a mountain bike race on the trails. So we started doing it, this is our 5th year, and of course, you know, you just bring people from around the state, and so they know our trail system, and hopefully come again. So, yeah, but anyway.
Yeah, then they can leave money and go away, not move here.
Right. But for those of us that live here, we love having a trail here,
I was
so.
scared whenever they were telling everybody on the TV after the flood how beautiful our place is.
A lot of these debris removal guys are, and this place is gorgeous.
Yeah, yeah.
So, it's pretty obvious.
I think one of the biggest hurdles that we're having is the fact that because of the flood, people think they have to stay away, right?
Yeah.
Like I have friends that own, you know, Airbnbs and stuff like that, and they were like, we would love to come and support you, but we've just heard that we need to stay away. And I think that's one of the things with the long-term committee for tourism, you know, trying to get the word out. It's like we want visitors,
Well,
you know, but.
I think as we're opening up the parks and
Right.
we're kind of displaying these plans and we're having more events, I think they're gonna
Right.
get over that. So,
That's
but
what
it
the
is something
wins.
we need to keep
Yeah,
in front of
that's what the
mind, for
wins
sure.
Right, but it is something that, you know, people think about. They're like, are you sure it's okay to come to the park? And it's
Fighting
like,
misinformation.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing is that the waterfront down here is closed, but I mean, the trail system over here never closed, right? Because it's
That's true.
pretty far away from the, you know, from any water. I mean, usually it's the trail system that gets, but this, you know, so, I mean, that was the other thing, so. And we're actually raffling off, somebody gave us
Yes.
a bicycle and some hydraulic disc brakes, so we're gonna raffle it off, and the money is going to River Trail Restoration, flood recovery, River Trail flood recovery is what we're gonna do the money to.
The gates opening up to Louise Park will be a big win tomorrow.
Yes,
I don't know.
yes.
We
That
kinda
was-
kept that
Stuff like
under our
that.
hat.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We kinda kept that one under our hat, but we're putting it out tomorrow morning
Yeah.
on social media, so if you guys wanna post it on Facebook, feel free.
Oh, we'll wait till you post.
No, go ahead and do it. It's gonna happen.
That is gonna be a big deal when those
Word on the
gates open
street
up.
is.
Yeah, word on the street.
Hey, it's being, we're
Uh-oh.
Yeah, Louis shared it.
Breaking news.
Yes.
The small, I don't know the name of it, the one where we had the bouncy houses and things, right back here with the
The
kids,
carnival?
the little carnival thing, that seemed like a pretty big hit. They were
It was
giving
a
out,
big hit.
I know.
Stuffed animals and all this stuff, we had to come back twice, like, you have anything like that?
Oh, you mean your kids, they like it?
Yeah, the kids really loved it, so I mean, it's these little morale boosters
Yeah.
that all add.
With wins, right?
Uh-huh.
We were at the Blue Oak Trading Post, the Tail Chasers, last weekend, and that was chock-a-block full of people. I
Yeah.
mean,
That's cool.
packed all day. So when events are happening, people are coming
Yeah.
in.
Well, and the Water Street Festival is the
Oh, the later on the
Third.
Yeah.
the 24th.
24th.
No.
No,
25th,
it's the 20,
Saturday.
it's the 25th.
It's the Saturday.
It's that
the
first like
25th.
half of the day or whatever on the
Right.
25th, yeah.
Okay.
And then does Parks, were you asked to do anything for that, or, I mean, any kind of, no?
No, but we support it.
Yeah, no.
I'm sponsoring it, so.
As part of the board, do we just get to leave whenever we want now?
Yep.
Or what?
Because the whole that side is over
Because I'm
there.
gonna leave before adjournment.
You need to come over there.
Okay. Done.
Okay, I get a motion to, do we have any more business? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll motion we adjourn.
Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor? All right, thanks, good meeting you guys.
Thank you, bud.